Welcome back to episode 5 in our series of daily wins, overall videos of depression. So remember, daily wins is finding the good in depression, even when it's difficult to find that good. In these videos, their overall goal is to help us decrease our depression, decrease any unhealthy behaviors that we have, and increase our healthy behavior so we can start working on our long-term, short-term, and long goals. So, in the last episode, we explored finding beauty and glimmers of joy. Small sensory moments can help you reconnect to life. And today, we're going to talk about something that's equally as powerful, and that is that effort matters more than outcome. So, that just means if we put some effort into it, we should count that as a win instead of only counting that we finished something instead. So, because depression loves to tell us if you didn't finish, it doesn't count. If it wasn't perfect, you failed. If you didn't hit the goal, why try? But healing is not about perfection. It's just about showing up even in the tiny ways that we can in life. And in this episode, we're going to go over why effort matters even when it feels invisible, how to reframe failure and complete task as progress, and gentle ways to celebrate the act of trying. So where do we get started on this journey of shifting achievement to intention? Well, we need to understand why effort even does matter for us. So depression drains our energy, and some days simply existing really does feel like work. And so every time you take a step forward, no matter how small it is, you are demonstrating resilience. And effort matters because it's proof that you're still engaged with life, and it shows strength even if no one sees it. And again, it shouldn't be about whether somebody else sees what we're doing. It should be about us building up internal mechanisms inside of ourselves so that when we do something, we notice it, give ourselves cheer ourselves on for that. So it's the foundation of progress even when results are delayed. So some examples are going to be brushing your teeth when it's possible, that's effort. Sitting outside for 2 minutes, again, that's effort. And opening your curtains, even if you do go back to bed, that is still effort. And so your brain may dismiss it, but your healing depends on these very tiny, persistent choices that are you today. So where else do we go with the shift achievement to intention? Well, we're going to reframe failure and incompleteness. And what reframe means is we're just going to change. That's all we're doing is we're changing something in our life that needs to be changed. So let's challenge the belief that only completed tasks matter. So if you wash some dishes, but not all, that's a win. You wrote a few sentences but didn't finish the page, win. And if you tried and then needed a break, that of course still does count. Let's say you did something small, like pick up a book and read a paragraph instead of the 5 pages you may have wanted to. Well, that's still a win because you put effort into that task. And so a reframe example would be instead of saying, I didn't do enough, try saying, I showed up in the ways that I could, and that is meaningful. So effort is not going to be wasted, and it should not be wasted. We required energy to do it, so it does really count. Even when the outcome is different than you had imagined it to be. It builds muscle memory, persistence, and it teaches your nervous system that trying doesn't always have to equal burnout. And of course, we don't want burnout in any portion of our lives. So where do we go from here, from shifting from achievement to intention? Well, we're going to celebrate acts of trying. So how can you honor your effort more? Well, what about if we add effort to our win log? And of course, we're not going to make it really big so it's even more exhausting to do, or have another log to do on top of it. So write down not just what you did again, but write down what it took to do it. So again, we're just adding to the sentence, and hopefully that isn't too much for some people. So I took a shower even though I had no energy. I called a friend, and we're going to do the effort part, even though I was anxious. And so another thing we can do is we can create a try wall where we put sticky notes on a wall or journal page action that you tried doing that day. seeing them stack up really can build our self-belief that effort, that we're doing something, and that we're focusing on the small wins, which will be bigger wins in the end for us. And the last thing we can try is we can use self-talk. So when you do something small, say, this was enough, I'm proud that I tried, doing anything today took courage. Celebrating effort shifts your brain from shame to self-recognition. It's not about measuring how much you did, it's about recognizing that you did it. The other thing too is to remember that it's not what other people think about what you should do, what you have done, especially when we're suffering in such depression or any heavy emotion. We shouldn't be relying on what others say because it can have a very negative effect. So it should really be what we are thinking on the inside and the cheerleader that we're building up for ourselves on the inside. That really does matter more than anything else. So it's us recognizing what we've done and that for ourselves and the person we're up in competition against ourselves. Some days we do well, some days we don't do so well. But when we write things down or messages or sticky notes, we can actually visually see how we're doing really well. So let's recap and wrap it up. So effort is a form of success. Try and count even messy or incomplete, and your value is not tied to your productivity. So in the next episode, we'll talk about what to do in the days when you've done nothing and how to find and acknowledge wins even in survival mode. So here we are in the comment section. This is where you get to comment on anything, depression, any video, maybe even another heavy emotion that you may have or anything else in your life. And if you're struggling with a comment, here is a question to help you. What's one effort you made today that deserves recognition, even if no one else saw it? And remember, you're not here to be perfect, you're here to keep going, and that truly is enough, of course. So if this video resonated with you, helped you at all, please like, subscribe, and share it with anybody who may need it as well. Stuck around this far, here is the next part that I do like to talk about, and these are the journals that I have created. These really do go hand in hand with these videos to kind of be another tool to use to help increase healthy behaviors and decrease the behaviors that we do not want. So there's an anxiety journal, speech journal, one on self-love, discipline, and discovery, and then a children's book for your own children to learn about courage, bravery, and own spark. Of course, at the end, there are worksheets as well for them to also write things down about their own bravery, their own courage, and their own spark, helping them to start thinking about and visually seeing the positive things in their life so they can keep that going. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching.